Hey, it's John. Welcome back. Today we're going to talk about cloud infrastructure review, a three-phase approach. We're only going to talk about phase one today, and we see that there's 9 stages in here. We've got 2 other phases. The second phase is workloads, and the third phase is code. So first, when we start these things, we want to understand who is the cloud service provider, and we want to understand who is the primary cloud service provider that we are going to be working with. There's a whole lot of flavors, so make sure you ask the right questions and then write that down in a nice documented way. Then we want to move in and understand that high level hierarchy. How many organizations does your company have? Is there a clear split between environment types, production, staging, and testing? Or how are new counts created? Manually or automatically? These are great questions to ask as you're doing your cloud infrastructure review. As we move into stage three, understanding what is running the accounts, ask what type of questions are being involved. Is your company container heavy, Kubernetes, ECS? Or are you serverless, right? Or do you have legacy VM workloads in existence, right? Vanilla EC2. Then when we move into stage four, right? Ask yourselves and your teams, what are the main entry points to the infrastructure and what services and components are internet facing? This is our largest threat and the one that we can really start to make the most improvements in the sense of security and optimization. How do customers get access? How do engineers get access? And how are accounts connected to each other? This is a great way to build a holistic approach to assessing your cloud and cyber security by doing an infrastructure review periodically. So when we move to stage five, we want to understand the current identity access management setup, right? How are authentication and authorization to cloud providers currently set up? For human access, for automated access, are you using a third party provider? So when we can understand those things, we can then start to identify high privileged accounts and how they are the good standards enforced on those high privileged accounts. When we move to stage six, some questions you might want to ask are, how are security logs collected or aggregated? Are security related logs collected at all? Is your organization effectively collecting those logs and are they storing them and are they processing them, right? What's the retention policy? How are the logs being analyzed? Great questions to ask here about analysis, process, and data loss prevention systems. When we move to stage seven, you want to understand the current secrets management setup, right? How are secrets generated? How are they manually or automatically generated? Where are they stored? And what secrets management solution is in place? When we move to stage eight, we want to identify those existing security controls. Which controls are implemented and which boundaries are defined, and what off-the-shelf service providers what off-the-shelf service providers off-the-shelf services offered by cloud providers being used, right? Um, so that's where stage eight is, and then stage nine, those low-hanging fruits, right? Which high exposure and high impact vulnerability or misconfiguration exists in the production environment, right? Then you're gonna move through testing, auditing, and documentation. So if you've enjoyed this, comment, like, share. I'd love to hear your feedback, right? I'm going to keep generating this content about how to review your cloud infrastructure and make sound choices and save yourself time, money, and optimize your organization's performance. I hope you've enjoyed this. Thanks.